Hi, I'm Stephanie Strange. Want to hear something scary? Terror in Whitechapel. Some of the scariest stories are the ones which come from fact, not fiction. In 1888 in Whitechapel, a series of violent and disturbing murders of prostitutes kept the people of London in high alerts, and the police scratching their heads. Whoever was truly behind these crimes has never been discovered. Jack glanced up at the huge blood moon in the nighttime sky. Thankfully, there was plenty of cloud cover. Otherwise, his modus operandi of hiding in the shadows would prove impossible. He slunk through the alleyways, quiet as a church mouse, sly as a fox. Whitechapel smelled as bad as you might imagine, and the dark corners where the woman waited for gentlemen to pay for some alone time were no exception. Jack stepped over a pile of rotting rat corpses. Had London learned nothing after the Black Death, he thought. He was careful to keep hidden for now, dressed to blend into the darkness, but these women were on high alert and quick to spook. The newspapers and the rumor mills were busy. Talk of a serial killer preying on women meant only the most hardened and desperate were still flaunting their wares, others too afraid to become the next victim of the Ripper. There was not an abundance of peelers out at that time. Perhaps one uninformed officer who'd drawn the short straw. But members of the public were also taking extra care to look over their shoulder, especially upon seeing a gentleman in these unsavory parts so late at night. Although they wouldn't know he was wealthy and born of privilege, the leathery apron, covered in bodily fluids, was a giveaway. And there she was, his next target. He shivered with anticipation. There was a public house not too far from where she was loitering, in the hope that a chap who had drunk too much ale would take a fancy and offer her the penny she needed to rest easy in the local boarding house. She smiled a toothless grin and hitched her skirt a little higher, showcasing her grubby ankles. Jack could smell her from his hiding place in the shadows. 'Twas a pity the boarding house didn't also provide a bath. Still, once the majority of the patrons from the public house had stumbled home, Jack deemed it time. He crept out of the shadows, the clouds now amply covering the moon so that it was exceptionally dark. He slid over to the woman who was all too eager to join him in the alleyway. The lure of an actual bed, although it was shared and likely full of fleas overcoming any sense of danger. She followed him willfully to the dark corner, and he immediately reached into the front pocket of the apron, grabbing a hold of the cutthroat razor, and in one fluid and well-practiced motion, doing just that. The blade sliced her neck as if it were an onion, and she gasped in shock, trying to stem the flow of blood with her hands as he dealt the next blow, a punch to her gut that brought her to the ground. Jack reached down and tore at her dress. He believed her to still be alive as he made the first few incisions, then went to work. Whether she died of shock, pain, massive blood loss, or most likely all three, he didn't care. He stood up the open cavity of her body, steaming and stinking in the air. He could already see interested movement around her, vermin sniffing about, bold enough to breach the underground tunnels for fresh meat. Jack whistled as he left the park, his latest trophy inside the pocket of the apron, along with the razor. There was no one around, but even if there had been, they wouldn't question a butcher on his way to the slaughterhouse. He stashed his tools in plain sight and made his way stealthily back to the sort of neighborhood where everyone would be fast asleep in the four-poster beds, sleeping soundly between silk sheets. He crept in through the servant quarters, and even they were not yet awake. He crawled into his own comfortable bed chambers and smiled, wondering how long it would be until the body was discovered. He could see the headline on the evening paper already. Jack the Ripper strikes again. Hi, everybody, it's Stephanie, and I just wanted to thank Talkspace for being our sponsor this week. As you might know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we here at Something Scary wanted to remind you to prioritize your mental well-being. Nowadays, we consume so much social media, and we just don't get the time to reflect on our emotions like we used to. A licensed Talkspace therapist can help you identify with what kind of help you may need, whether it's setting stronger boundaries, letting go of something, or gaining the courage to try something different. For anyone who is looking to get started with therapy, I recommend Talkspace because they make it really easy to match with a licensed therapist and schedule a session. Talkspace therapists are available to speak anytime you may need, and you can also get unlimited messages with your dedicated therapist. But no matter where you are in your mental health journey, talking to a therapist who is trained to help makes a huge difference. So consider this your permission slip to put your mental health first. Match with a dedicated therapist today at Talkspace.com and use promo code SCARY during your sign-up to get $100 off your first month. That's $100 off at Talkspace.com, promo code SCARY. Hi all, I'm so excited to have Best Fiends be the sponsor of today's episode. I love to play Best Fiends. I feel like I used to think that I shouldn't be playing games until my workload was done. Kind of like I didn't deserve it, but when I started playing Best Fiends, I realized that it actually helps me relax in the middle of a very hectic day. It's great to play when you're traveling and waiting for ride shares, planes, whatever. The game features tons of cute characters, and the more you play, the more characters you collect. New characters and challenging puzzles are added all the time. No Wi-Fi, no problem. Play Best Fiends wherever and whenever you want with offline mode. Best Fiends is free to download and is a super fun 5-star rated match 3 mobile puzzle game. You've earned your fun time, go to the App Store or Google Play to download Best Fiends for free. Plus, earn even more with $5 worth of in-game rewards when you reach level 5. That's friends without the R, Best Fiends. Want more Something Scary? You can hear more stories over on the Something Scary podcast, available for free on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your favorite shows. The links are in the description below. Thank you to all of our Patreons, and while we do run a limited amount of ads, the show would not be possible without your support. If you would like to submit a story, send me an email at somethingscary@snarled.com. Like and share this video if it gave you the chills, and don't forget to subscribe to Snarled and turn on the bell notifications. And if you dare, follow me on social media. Until next time, my dark darlings, sweet dreams.